calls for a county-run shelter are growing louder, while advocates say change is long overdue.
Plus, 12 News reporter Derek Jones is explaining why some small farmers here in Southeast Texas say the new farm bill could have major impact, especially when it comes to crop insurance.
And shrimpers are feeling the strain of rising fuel costs, while they say it's becoming increasingly difficult to stay afloat. 12 News Daybreak on 12 News Plus starts now. Good morning, Southeast Texas. Thanks for waking up with Daybreak on 12 News Plus. I'm Tia Johnson.
And I'm Mark Armstrong. 7 o'clock right now, so let's go ahead and get a first look at your weather with meteorologist Jeff Gerber as we take a quick live look outside from our Roofing 911 Live Skycam network here above Port Arthur. Jeff, how's it looking out there today?
Not too bad out there. We have some partly cloudy skies for most of the area up towards the lakes we were talking about the last half hour. There's some fog developing around the Jasper area that should last not too long, probably another hour or so as it lifts up. As we look at current temperatures, we're seeing generally the 60s, only 170 on the board, and that's over in Orange at 70 degrees on the dot. Then 69 now in Port Arthur, 66 through Beaumont and Silsbee, 61 in Kirbyville. Jasper, good morning, there at 64, and then 65 in Woodville. Take you down towards Port Arthur where we're seeing partly cloudy skies. This camera brought to you by Mid-County Construction, part of the Roofing 911 Live Skycam network, as we see the sun coming up. And right here in Beaumont, we're also seeing just some partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies. This camera brought to you by Mid-County Plumbing. As we look at our day planner, we take you up into the lower to middle 80s for this afternoon, about 84, 85 for a high again today with partly to mostly cloudy skies. And we'll see breezy conditions again for this afternoon. South winds at about 10 to 15. Rain coming through this weekend. We'll talk more about that in weather.
All right, Jeff, well, we have some stunning video this morning of a heroic moment at a school principal taking down a suspected school shooter, likely saving the lives of many of his students. Emily Akita has the story and video.
Video of the heart-stopping moments a gunman walks into Pauls Valley High School in Oklahoma. You can see a pistol in hand. But watch what unfolds next. Principal Kirk Moore in the blue shirt emerging from another door and tackling the suspect, identified by police as 20-year-old Victor Hawkins, a former student of the school. Just feet away, you can see a young person slip out during Moore's fast-acting efforts. Authorities say the principal was shot in the chaos, but managed to get the suspect to drop the gun. Another staff member then scrambling to pick it up.
It doesn't surprise me, the actions that he took, but it is amazing at the actions that he took. There's not a doubt in my mind that he saved kids' lives yesterday.
In a statement, Moore said in part, like so many educators around the country, we prepare for these events. I'm grateful that my instincts and training, as well as God's hand, were available to me. The suspect told investigators he was inspired by the Columbine school shooting, according to an affidavit. He now faces numerous charges, including shooting with intent to kill, as the shaken school community is grateful no one was killed, thanks to the heroic actions of their principal. Emily Ikeda, NBC News.
At 7:03 right now on Tuesday, a former obstetrician and gynecologist in California pleaded guilty to sexually abusing his patients. A judge sentenced James Heaps to 11 years in prison. He worked for UCLA in various roles from 1983 until 2018. In 2022, a jury convicted Heaps of sexual abuse and sentenced him to prison. But this past February, a state's appeals court ruled he did not get a fair trial and overturned the conviction. Prosecutors vowed to try the 69-year-old again, but instead he pled guilty. Heaps' lawyer said he made that decision to spare his former patients from having to testify at another trial.
Well, a pair of lawmakers, Representative Eric Swalwell, a California Democrat, and Representative Tony Gonzalez, a Republican from here in Texas, they've resigned from Congress amid sexual misconduct allegations, preempting a push by their House colleagues to expel them from office. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest from Washington.
But what I want to talk to you next
in a new push for accountability, former California Congressman Eric Swalwell, one of two House members who resigned on Tuesday, now facing another criminal investigation, with the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department looking into serious new allegations from this woman, Lana Drews, who says Swalwell drugged her drink, raped and choked her in a California hotel room in 2018.
I lost consciousness. And I thought I died.
Drews says she met Swalwell socially, was interested in a business relationship, and that while she didn't report the alleged assault at the time, she did confide in multiple people and make handwritten notes, saying her delay in coming forward
was driven by fear, not doubt.
Swalwell, a married father of 3, apologized for past mistakes in judgment while forcefully denying all allegations of sexual assault or misconduct that multiple women have made against him. Swalwell's attorney called all of the accusations false, fabricated, and deeply offensive, alleging they're a political hit job. Swalwell, a prominent Democrat, dropped his run for California governor and chose to resign from Congress as fellow lawmakers threatened to expel him. Texas Republican Representative Tony Gonzalez making the same decision on the same day. The married father of 6 previously admitted to an affair with a staffer who later died by suicide.
I made a mistake and I had a lapse in judgment.
The 2 resignations won't shift the balance of power in Congress, but advocates are hoping for change. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Back here at home, a growing push in Hardin County to create a shared animal shelter is gaining traction, and supporters say it's long overdue. In just 10 days, more than 600 signatures have been collected on a petition, but organizers say they'll need around 5,600 before going before the Commissioners Board. Supporters say the lack of a county-run shelter has led to an increase in stray and abandoned animals, with concerns growing even more following the recent arrest of a former Silsbee animal control officer, Joshua Nolan, who now faces charges for improper methods of euthanasia and cruelty to non-livestock animals.
Is inhumane and it needs to stop. And whether it's they can't afford to have their animals spayed or neutered, we can look into that. I have tons of ideas for programs for that. And we need to get down to that core issue of why this is happening and address it.
Silsbee Mayor Danny Renault says there are currently multiple applications for the vacant animal control officer position. To find out more about this petition, head to 12newsnow.com. And you can find all of our coverage leading up to this point on 12newsnow.com. Also streaming on 12 News Plus. Just download the app on your TV and watch for free. All right, switching gears now. Southeast Texas weather can be tough on farmers. From periods of drought to rare winter freezes, they constantly face challenging conditions.
Yeah, 12 News reporter Derek Jones, he's explaining that while federal disaster aid, it can help, it often comes with limitations. Derek?
Marketia, that is the case for most after the recent winter freeze. William Taylor, a Southeast Texas farmer, says a recent freeze wiped out much of his crops and cost him thousands of dollars. Without crop insurance, those losses fell entirely on his shoulders.
Probably lost $3,000 or $4,000 total. Small produce farmers do not have insurance. You plant it. If you harvest it and make any money on it, good. If you don't harvest it and don't make any money on it, you just lost it. So we don't have insurance on small farms.
To help offset those losses, the USDA offers multiple programs, including assistance for crops, livestock, and even specialty operations like honeybee producers and farm-raised fish. There are also programs that help cover the cost of feed for livestock when drought conditions limit grazing. One of the newest efforts, the Farmer Bridge Assistance Program, created to provide quick financial relief to farmers dealing with both disaster losses and rising input costs. The program breaks down into these 8 options: crop loss assistance, livestock and forage programs, specialty farm coverage, and bridge payments for quick relief. According to the USDA, those funds should arrive within 72 hours of applying.
Farmers are first, and we're going to do everything we can to help them, regardless of whether it's a natural disaster or whether it's to help them get to the next year so they can be able to plant crops.
Officials say the program has already distributed billions nationwide. Even with that help, officials say most disaster programs only cover a portion of those losses, so farmers have to rely on loans and insurance.
Wow.
Now, Derek, you know, you met with that farmer earlier. Were you able to speak with him about this possibility?
Yeah, well, I wasn't able to speak with him about this possibility. I learned about this after he had told me about him not being able to afford or get insurance for small produce, because that's the reason why the story came up. A lot of small produce farmers aren't able to apply for that insurance because that insurance does not cover what they lost.
All right. Thank you, Derek. Well, Southeast Texas drivers, they are still feeling the pinch at the pump as gas prices remain elevated across the region. According to Gas Buddy, Beaumont is averaging $3.71 a gallon. Orange sits at $3.69, and Port Arthur is the highest locally at $3.80. And across Southeast Texas, shrimpers, they are definitely feeling the effects of those rising fuel prices. They say that the cost, it's making it harder to even leave the dock. Now, before the war with Iran began, diesel prices around here, they were around $3.25 a gallon, but now it's more than $5. And the market price for those shrimp, it isn't helping out either. 12 News reporter Daniela Taboada-Palau, she spoke to Southeast Texas shrimpers about the tough position they're in right now.
We cannot operate on these prices. There's just no way.
Liesl and Kyle Kimball are brothers, both making their living on the water. Although they work on smaller shipping boats, they say everyone is struggling with rising fuel prices.
It was coming down quite a bit, and then now it's gone up to, we've seen as high as $5.
Diesel prices in Southeast Texas sit at $5.20 a gallon, a couple cents less than the Texas and national average.
They can go a month and a half, 2 months on fuel, but they'll spend $150,000, $200,000 on fuel right now at the prices.
Shrimpers like the Kimballs spend days at sea, burning up to 12 gallons of diesel an hour. On larger boats, trips can last up to 1 month, burning through between 20 to 40 gallons an hour, numbers that are keeping those boats docked.
We're better off just leaving the boats tied up right now.
Liesl says he's only taken 2 trips this year, and with shrimp selling for just $1.80 to $3 a pound, any profit is going back into their tank.
The import prices are anywhere from $1.50 to about $3.50 more a pound than what we get. Just depends on what's out there. This whole thing ends up kind of being a gamble because you don't know what's out there right now.
A gamble that's becoming more and more risky.
I don't see much of a future in it. I mean, people are just, nobody wants to get in it and nobody wants to keep fishing in the industry.
In Jefferson County, Danielle Taboada-Palau, 12 News.
And that was Daniela Taboada-Palau reporting. You can watch the full interview on 12 News Plus.
Texans are saying no. Texans are pushing back. Texans have finally, thank you God, woken up, showing up.
And that was Democratic nominee for Texas Governor Gina Hinojosa. She was in Beaumont Tuesday night, getting voters there fired up, answering questions and detailing her top priorities as she vies for your vote in the November election. Now, she touched on a lot of topics at the United Steelworkers Hall. One big talking point, the economy. She explains that there's just too many tax breaks for big corporations and not enough job opportunities for Texans.
What we need to do is have an economic development policy that works for the people of Texas. Too much what we're seeing is tax breaks for global companies that are not creating jobs for the local community. They bring people in from other places, and it doesn't benefit people like it should. Instead, we need to be focusing on empowering people, Texans, local workforce, small business owners who are struggling so much in this state.
Texans are saying no.
And she also touched on her fight for better public schooling in the state and higher pay for teachers.
The people of Texas, parents, community should decide the future of their schools. Yes, our schools can always improve. We need to go back to basics, pay our teachers amongst the highest in the nation so that they are the best teachers we can get in the classroom. That's the best thing we can do for our schools. Let's wipe clean all the corrupt vendor contracts at the state level. Let's use that money to pay the teachers of Texas.
And Hinojosa is currently serving her 5th term in the Texas House as she is challenging current Governor Greg Abbott for his seat. As for the latest polling numbers in this race, Real Clear is still showing Governor Abbott at 7.5 points ahead of Hinojosa. Well, still waiting until the last minute to file your taxes. It is tax day, everyone. Up next, we're going to break down what you need to know to avoid some costly mistakes.
We begin with breaking news.
The Union Pacific train derailed. Story 5 Total News reporter Derek Jones. Derek, what are you seeing tonight?
We have live team coverage tonight at breaking it all down.
Hardin County Sheriff shares he could face charges in Hardin County.
We're continuing to follow developing news.
Coming up right there behind me is an ambulance that is running hot.
We're going to keep you updated on air and online as we learn more.
Stream extended coverage on 12 News Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
After my injury, I lost my sense of purpose.
I lost the ability to tuck my daughters into bed.
Homes for Our Troops builds specially adapted homes with features that allow our veterans to function independently and focus on their recovery and family. This life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free.
Homes for Our Troops gave me a home where I can be a dad.
Homes for Our Troops gave me a brighter future.
We need you to join us too in completing this important mission. Learn more at hfotusa.org.
From Dallas to Houston, San Antonio to Austin, it's the news that moves all of Texas. Texas News Now. One power-packed hour with enough Texas news to fill a 10-gallon hat. Your top headlines, weather alerts, and big travel updates. No matter where you're headed, across town or across the state, we've got Texas covered. Texas News Now, weekdays noon, only on 12 News Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. At 12 News, we don't just cover this community, we're part of it. That's why we care so deeply about getting it right. Because when local journalism is done right, it doesn't sit still. It moves to vote, to volunteer, to speak up or lend a hand. And yes, it moves your heart.
I am just so grateful.
Oh my gosh.
Through human storytelling that stays with you long after the moment passes. And at 12 News, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Beaumont.
Whether it's tonight or 55 years down the road.
Find your new furry friend with the 12 News Pet of the Week every Friday on 12 News.
Your stories covered by the team you trust. Watch 12 News at 10 and stream free on 12 News Plus.
Welcome back to Daybreak here on 12 News Plus. It's April 15th, which means tax day is here. Did you file? ABC's Michelle Franzen has last-minute tips with just hours to go before the deadline.
The clock is ticking. The deadline to file 2025 taxes is midnight tonight. Need more time? Make sure to file an extension.
Any filing software, you would be able to file an extension. It may not be free on all the softwares, but it is an option on IRS Free File.
Filers who expect to owe money should make an estimated payment now based off last year's payment. Even if you can't pay right now, still file. The penalty for not filing is higher than the penalty for not paying.
Filing a tax return late is the largest penalty the IRS issues. So whether you can pay the bill or not, file your tax return on time.
Payment plans from the IRS can help you pay off the balance over time,
such as installment agreements or partial pay agreements.
Getting a refund? Overall refunds are up by more than 11% this year, averaging $3,462, according to the IRS. Use the Where's My Refund tool on the IRS website to check the status. Americans who file electronically and choose direct deposit can get their refund as quickly as 21 days or less. The IRS recommends not spending the money until you actually receive it in your account,
because there may be changes to the refund prior to you actually receiving it. So even if your tax return says you're getting such and such amount as a refund, the IRS may find some sort of an error.
And after you're all done, if you forgot to report income, missed a deduction, or made any type of error on your tax filing, you have 3 years to amend your return. Michelle Franzen, ABC News, New York.
Outside, we're seeing partly cloudy skies through most of the area. Here we take a look down towards Port Arthur, part of the Roofing 911 Live Skycam network. This camera brought to you by Mid-County Construction. And partly cloudy here, but we've been seeing some cloud cover up in the lakes area. A little bit of fog actually developing around the Jasper area. Temperatures here right now into the 60s with the exception of Orange, which is at 70. We're at 66 in Woodville, Jasper, Silsbee, Beaumont, 62 in Kirbyville, and we're at 69 degrees right now in Port Arthur. Winds are pretty light, generally out of the South anywhere from about 3 to 7 miles per hour. Not much of a wind, but they will pick up for this afternoon. We're expecting winds about 10 to 15 miles per hour as we head towards later on this afternoon. Across the state, we had some rain and thunderstorms in the hill country overnight. Those have died down, and now pretty quiet across parts of Texas. Seeing a few showers up towards Oklahoma. Expecting another round of some severe weather, maybe out in West Texas, up and through parts of the Midwest for later on this afternoon and going into this evening. Our futurecast showing temperatures in the 70s through most of the morning. Then we jump into the 80s around lunchtime, and we'll stay into the lower to middle 80s through the afternoon. This evening, we'll see temperatures return back to the 70s, and we're looking at temperatures in the 70s and 60s for tomorrow morning. So another mild start as we head towards Thursday morning. Overnight, just some partly cloudy skies. Now, Saturday night, we do have that front coming through with some rain. We've been talking about this, and we've been issued a weather impact alert for Saturday night up in the lakes area because could see maybe an inch or so of rainfall there. And with the heavy rain and maybe low visibilities, could be a little bit of tricky travel. So we've issued the weather impact alert. Not expecting any severe weather, and it's going to be late in the evening probably that the heaviest rain comes in. So hopefully most folks are in for the evening or whatever as the rain does come through on Saturday night. Our forecast for today, we're calling for variable clouds, south winds at 10 to 15 with temperatures there about 84, 85. Tonight we'll back off into the middle to upper 60s through southeast Texas, and then our 7-day forecast calls for more of the same Thursday and Friday, highs in the middle 80s, and even Saturday will be in the middle 80s before the front comes through. Front comes through on Saturday night, as we talked about, maybe some heavy rains towards the lakes, and we're looking at about a 50% chance of some scattered showers and thunderstorms. Then after the front comes through, cooler for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, with lows in the 50s and highs in the middle to upper 70s.
All right, Jeff, it's 7:21 right now here on 12 News Daybreak, and time for some trending news. Well, buying tickets to your favorite events may have just gotten a whole lot easier.
Yeah, Ticketmaster is teaming up with OpenAI to bring a new way for fans to find and buy tickets using ChatGPT. The new feature allows users to search for concerts and sporting events simply by chatting inside the app. Fans can ask about specific locations, dates, and price ranges, making it easier to explore options in real time. Once they find what they're looking for, users can connect directly to Ticketmaster and complete their purchase, all without leaving the conversation. The partnership aims to streamline the ticket buying experience and make discovering live events more interactive. But I'm a little confused to buy because when those tickets release, it's so crazy.
Yes.
Trying to get in the queue and get your ticket. Will something like this mess up the system or slow you down, you know?
It might slow you down. That's what I think. Maybe this is for if it's not one of those highly sought after concerts or something like that. But we'll just have to see how it works out. I mean, I think ChatGPT is trying to keep you in ChatGPT without going elsewhere. I'm sure that's part of the partnership here.
Yeah, well, speaking of that sought after concert, two of R&B's biggest stars are teaming up for a major stadium tour this summer.
Yeah, Usher and Chris Brown, they're going to co-headline the R&B tour, a 33-date run featuring high-energy performances and fan favorites. Pre-sale tickets, they go on sale Thursday, April 23rd, with general sales beginning Monday, April 27th. Fans, they can expect a full arena experience as both artists bring years of chart-topping hits and signature stage performances back to the spotlight. The tour is expected to be one of the most talked about music events of the year. You ever seen either one of them live before?
So I've seen Usher in concert maybe a year or two ago. My brother and I went to see him in Austin right after the Super Bowl. When we saw that performance, we were like, we have to go see Usher. Chris Brown, very talented artist too, so I know this will be pretty good.
Wow, I bet that Usher show was quite the show.
It was. I enjoyed it. All right, 7:23 right now. Here's a live look outside. We'll have more news and weather in just a few minutes.
Sulfuric acid, and another is flammable.
Stories are everywhere, in your neighborhood, across our city. We're here to bring you the ones that matter, from breaking news to the weather impact alerts that can change your day.
The potential for severe weather.
So you're not just informed, you're prepared. We live here, we're part of this community, and we take seriously the trust you place in us. These are your stories, covered by the team you know and trust. Watch 12 News at 10 and stream free on 12 News Plus.
Serious, man. I actually drive better when I'm live. If anything, I'm more careful. chill or relaxed. It just helps me focus. It just helps me focus, you know?
I'm Eric Roberts, and I want to talk to you about giving, the gift of life. Right now, over 100,000 people are waiting for a life-saving organ transplant. More than 90,000 of them need a kidney. One organ donor can save up to 8 lives. To learn more about organ donation and how you can help, visit mnitf.org. Become an organ donor today.
Southeast Texas is filled with amazing stories, both on and off the field, and you can get all the action on your schedule. That's 12 News Plus. Add it to your Roku, Fire TV, or Apple TV today. What's better than free local sports?
Are rising costs and mounting debt leaving your wallet feeling just a little too thin? 12 News is offering tips on saving money and balancing your budget to get your finances back on track. Money matters, only on 12 News.
Welcome back at the bus stop this morning. Pretty mild temperatures in the 60s, warm at recess 80, and then warm and breezy way home. Temperatures into the middle 80s there. Along the coast, southwards at 15 knots, seas from 2 to 3 feet. Next high tide 2:31 for this afternoon. Our sunrise, we passed that at 6:48. Our sunset tonight at 7:43. Right now at Texas Point, conditions are looking at winds at the south-southeast at 18 to 20 miles an hour. Water temperature there in the middle 70s. Look for some choppy conditions for those winds today on the inland lakes and bays. Have some rain coming in this weekend. We'll talk more about that coming up in weather.
Still ahead on Daybreak, more than 600 signatures have been collected on a petition calling for a county-run animal shelter in Hardin County. How much more they need to get it to Commissioner's Court.
Time right now, 7:27. We'll be right back with more news and weather.
Good morning, Southeast Texas, and thanks for joining us here on Daybreak on 12 News Plus. I'm Mark Armstrong.
And I'm Tia Johnson. The time now is 7:30. Let's take a look at your top stories this morning. New court filings in Jefferson County show the family of Reginald McGee, one of the 3 workers killed in last year's Port Arthur LNG collapse, may have reached a settlement with the companies involved. The terms have not been made public, and the court has appointed an independent attorney to review the agreement. Other lawsuits tied to the collapse are still moving forward.
The suspects in a cell phone store burglary in Beaumont, they have been identified. 4 minors broke into the mobile zone on College and 4th early Monday morning. The store owner says 2 of them, they came in around midnight and stole some items and then left. Then 4 of them came back to finish the job. He says they stole about $50,000 worth of electronics in addition to the damage that they caused.
An initiative was announced in Jefferson County Commissioner's Court Tuesday for a proposed youth center in Beaumont called the Southeast Texas Youth Support Services Campus. Revision wants to develop 30 acres on Mannion Drive. The nonprofit paid just under $3 million for the property and wants the county to pay roughly half that in other costs. The campus would provide mental health services, mentorship, and other resources. All right, let's take a live look outside now from our Roofing 911 SkyCam network. Nice view of downtown Beaumont right now. Meteorologist Jeff Gerber joining us with the weather. Hey, Jeff.
Good morning. Yeah, temperatures out there right now in the 60s. Everywhere has dropped now to the 60s. Even Orange, which is holding on to 70 all morning long, is now at 69. Port Arthur's at 69, then 66 in Beaumont, 65 in Silsbee, 66 to Jasper and Woodville, and 62 in Kirbyville. Had some fog up near Jasper this morning. Still a little bit of fog up there, but you can see it's starting to break up. Starting to see a little bit of sun trying to peek through those low-level clouds in Jasper. It'll break up a little bit later on this morning. We'll see some partly cloudy skies. This camera brought to you by Provalis. Today's highs up into the middle 80s with partly cloudy skies, and winds will be a little bit breezy out of the south at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. Looks like some rain for this weekend. We'll be talking about that coming up in weather.
All right, Jeff. Well, this morning in Silsbee, a larger conversation across Hardin County, outrage over a recent animal cruelty case. Now, advocates, they're pushing for a long-term solution that they say is overdue.
Yeah, let's walk through how this all unfolded. We first told you about a complaint filed alleging improper disposal of euthanized dogs on March 2nd. March 6th, Joshua Nolan was arrested. He later lost his job and was charged with improper euthanasia. Dozens of residents packed Silsbee City Hall demanding answers on March 12th. And tensions ran high leading up to another emotional meeting on March 16th, where city leaders began drafting a standard operating procedure for the shelter. Then just last week, Silsbee residents reached out to Hardin County officials about creating an animal shelter shared by the county. Tuesday night, a Hardin County organization met to continue that push. The Hardin County Animal Shelter supporters and advocates have already started a petition for the push. And in just 10 days, it's quickly gaining traction with over 600 signatures.
12 News reporter Ebony Coleman, she spoke with members who say that they need about 5,600 signatures before they can be taken seriously and bringing their case before the Hardin County Commissioner's Courts.
The people were upset, very upset about it, and there was a lot of there's a huge outcry.
If you ask the members of Hardin County Animal Shelter supporters and advocates, a push for a county-run shelter is long overdue.
People don't have the money to feed them, look after them. These animals are left to die a cruel death of starvation when they're just dumped or they're shot or they're hit by vehicles.
Shelly Whalen says concerns grew even stronger last month following the arrest of former Silsbee Animal Control Officer Joshua Nolan, who now faces charges for improper methods of euthanasia and cruelty to non-livestock animals.
Josh he said apparently that he felt alone, didn't have support, and we could work together instead of doing this separately. Job sharing with animal control officers so that they can cover shifts for one another.
Silsbee Mayor Danny Renault says he agrees something needs to be done.
It's not a 40-hour-a-week job. The animals, you may not have some weeks you may not have any calls at all.
The organization hopes to avoid raising taxes and instead use private donations and grants. Mayor Renault believes the current shelter budget could also help foot the bill.
We had a budget for $108,000. And I suggested that why don't we put our $108,000, give the county.
Resident Austin Everett says on any given week, he spots at least 10 stray animals around town.
I think it'd be better because you're going to have more resources, more people, and I think it's better when you have helping hands.
And that was Ebony Coleman reporting. Mayor Renaud says that there are currently multiple applications for that vacant animal control officer position. To find out more about this petition, head on over to 12newsnow.com.
You can find all of our coverage of the events leading up to this point on 12newsnow.com and streaming on 12 News Plus. Just download it to your TV and watch for free. 7:35 right now this morning. The city of Port Arthur will celebrate a new space aimed at helping pets and their owners. The new Animal Services Center officially opens today. This is video from when it was being built last year on Gates Boulevard. The modern facility features air-conditioned kennels, adoption rooms, and a training center designed to boost public safety, increase adoptions, and help reunite lost pets with their owners.
Well, lawmakers in Washington, they are working on a new farm bill that could reshape how farmers are supported across the country.
12 News reporter Derek Jones is in studio to break down what's in this bill. Derek.
TM Mark, the proposed 2026 Farm Bill includes changes to payments, crop insurance, and disaster coverage. This comes as farmers face growing challenges from extreme weather to rising costs, but a major focus on the proposal is expanding crop insurance. Crop insurance helps protect producers from losses caused by things like severe weather, market changes, and other unpredictable factors outside their control. This also includes fruits, vegetables, and other non-traditional crops that always haven't had the same level of coverage. That's all included in that bill.
There's no one single avenue that does everything, and that's why we want to make sure we're offering as many tools as we can out there for the producers.
Now that includes crops like blueberries, oilseeds, and wine grapes, along with expanded protections on natural disasters. The Farm Bill is still being debated across Congress, but agriculture leaders saying they're updating this and fighting for it to be passed.
All right. Well, Derek, just how easy or hard is it for farmers to actually apply for this assistance?
It's actually pretty easy. So you can go to farmers.gov or contact your local USDA agent so that way you can apply for that aid.
All right. Thank you, Derek.
And up next, drivers in Jefferson County should plan ahead for delays on I-10 this morning as crews prepare for the FM 365 demolition project.
And we continue to see dry weather for today, but we do see some rain coming in for Saturday night and some cooler weather coming in for early next week. We'll have a complete 7-day coming up.
Life doesn't pause when you're sick. Vaccines against respiratory illnesses can help protect you. Depending on your age and health status, it may be recommended for you to get vaccinations for flu, COVID-19, RSV, or pneumococcal infection. Vaccines can help keep you from having a rough time. Find out which respiratory vaccines are recommended for you and where to get them.
Now is the time to be inside.
Thousands are still without power in Jasper and Newton County. We have live team coverage spread out all across Southeast Texas tonight.
In good hands as well because of the emergency management office there.
Knocked over a space heater.
We're still expected to see plenty more rain today. So
the power was actually out at about 4 to 5.
A couple of minutes ago that they're out of power.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with 12 News and 12 News Plus.
As Texans, we have many reasons to be proud of the Lone Star State. Showing our pride by saying, "Don't mess with Texas," means we gotta step up, walk the walk. Do our part to keep Texas clean. Because after all these years, all these miles, all these traditions, for all us Texans, don't mess with Texas means don't litter.
At Daybreak, mornings start before the sun comes up.
Good morning, and thanks for waking up with us here.
This is our home where we live, work, and stay connected to our community. When we bring you the news each morning, we're talking to our neighbors.
Oh my gosh, that would be great.
From overnight news to weather and traffic that shape your day, our team keeps you informed, prepared, and connected.
It is a symbol of progress.
Make the move to Beaumont's #1 streaming newscast. Watch anytime, anywhere, weekdays 5 to 8.
It's time to honor our local educators with the 12 News Golden Apple Awards. Once a month, 12 News will surprise an educational staff member who has gone above and beyond to make a positive impact on the lives of Southeast Texas students. Nominate your educator by going to 12newsnow.com/Golden Apple to do your part in showcasing the heroes that make a difference both inside and outside the classroom. The Golden Apple Awards, every month on 12 News.
Across Southeast Texas, shrimpers are feeling the effects of those rising fuel prices. They say the costs are making it harder to even leave the dock. Before the war with Iran, diesel prices were around $3.25 a gallon. Now it's more than $5, and the market price for shrimp isn't helping either. 12 News reporter Daniela Tobata-Palau spoke to Southeast Texas shrimpers about the tough position they're in.
We cannot operate on these prices. There's just no way.
Liesl and Kyle Kimball are brothers, both making their living on the water. Although they work on smaller shipping boats, they say everyone is struggling with rising fuel prices.
It was coming down quite a bit, and then now it's gone up to, we've seen as high as $5.
Diesel prices in Southeast Texas sit at $5.20 a gallon, a couple cents less than the Texas and national average.
They can go a month and a half, 2 months on fuel, but they'll spend $150,000, $200,000 on fuel right now at the prices.
Shrimpers like the Kimballs spend days at sea, burning up to 12 gallons of diesel an hour. On larger boats, trips can last up to 1 month, burning through between 20 to 40 gallons an hour, numbers that are keeping those boats docked.
We're better off just leaving the boats tied up right now.
Liesl says he's only taken 2 trips this year, and with shrimp selling for just $1.80 to $3 a pound, any profit is going back into their tank.
The import prices are anywhere from $1.50 to about $3.50 more a pound than what we get. Just depends on what's out there. This whole thing ends up kind of being a gamble because you don't know what's out there right now.
A gamble that's becoming more and more risky.
I don't see much of a future in it. I mean, people are just, nobody wants to get in it and nobody wants to keep fishing in the industry.
In Jefferson County, Danielle Tobata-Palau, 12 News.
Nice mild morning once again for Southeast Texas. We're seeing temperatures in the 60s for the most part right now. We have a mixture of some partly to mostly cloudy skies depending on where you are here in Southeast Texas. Here's a view from our 12 News studio looking down on I-10. Looks like traffic is going along smoothly here right before 8 o'clock. This camera brought to you by Mid-County Plumbing. Temperature-wise, we're in the 60s, and there is 170 on the board there in Orange at 71. We're showing 69 in Port Arthur, 67 right here in Beaumont, 65 in Silsbee, 66 through Jasper and Woodville, then 62 in Kirbyville. Winds are pretty light right now. They are going to pick up a little bit out of the south for later on this afternoon between about 10 to 15. So last couple of days have been a little breezy. It looks like this afternoon will be about the same as we continue to be in between low pressure to the west and some high pressure just off towards our east. Now the high pressure is going to win out for us, so we'll stay high and dry today, but places like central Texas, maybe the hill country, could see another round of some rain and thunderstorms as we head late today and towards tonight. Futurecast showing temperatures climbing up into the upper 70s as we head towards the mid-morning hours, and then by lunchtime into the afternoon we'll see temperatures climbing up into the middle 80s. So 84, 85 for a high today. As we drop back into this evening, we'll see 70s and then eventually back into those 60s for tomorrow morning with some 70s along the coast, kind of like what we saw for this morning. We'll continue to see south winds through the overnight period as well. Weather impact alert coming in on Saturday night, and that is after 5 o'clock as we see a cold front push through the area. Not expecting any severe weather, but we are expecting maybe an inch or so of some rain possible up in the lakes. It's not guaranteed they're going to see an inch, but possibility of some heavy rain there. So we went ahead and issued a weather impact alert for the lakes area Saturday night. Here in the Triangle, might pick up a quarter of an inch, half an inch of rain as that front pushes through the area. So today, though, just very warm. Temperatures into the middle 80s, south winds at 10 to 15. For tonight, back into the 60s, kind of like what we saw this morning. And then our 7-day forecast shows warm and breezy Thursday and Friday, middle 80s. And then Saturday night, we have that weather impact alert. Here comes the front. 50% coverage overall of some scattered showers and thunderstorms. And then on the back side of that front, it's going to get cool. Temperatures in the 50s for lows Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday mornings. And then afternoon highs, middle 70s Sunday and Monday with a high of about 78 on Tuesday. So Might need to find the jacket again as we head towards maybe Monday morning as we get down into those lower 50s.
As of right now, Saturday morning, I shouldn't be canceling any plans for outdoors.
I think Saturday morning will be a lot better than Saturday night.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think we'll be okay. If you have an early tea time or something like that on Saturday morning, I think you'll be able to get through it, no problem. But once we get into the afternoon, maybe a few showers and then a little bit more in the way of widespread rain coming in Saturday night.
All right, thank you, Jeff.
You bet.
And just a reminder, you can download our app at any time to get the latest on the weather. You can check the radar by going to the radar tab in the app. High gas prices, inflation, interest rates, and other financial pressures are impacting how stressed out parents are approaching the topic of money with their kids. Michael Yoshida, he explains how parents are helping dollars make sense to the younger generation.
Money and family finances going from taboo topics to table talk.
Your parents are having much more transparent conversations about the family finances with kids.
Intuit's Dave Zasada says in a recent survey, 81% of U.S. parents reported current financial stresses made them realize how important it is to teach their kids about money, with 79% saying they are more transparent than their parents were with them, and 71% wanting their kids to avoid mistakes they made.
They're finding just everyday real world examples that they can use to start conversations. That could be as simple as we're going to the grocery store and we need to talk about wants and needs.
The shift happening as a new generation is entering the conversation.
Gen Alpha is influencing billions in household spending today.
PwC's Allie Furman says this group, with the oldest entering high school and youngest still in strollers, is often criticized for how much time they spend in front of device screens. But that's missing the point and their impact.
They learned how to tap a screen and how to put things into a cart before they could walk, many of them. So commerce is as natural to them as running water is. It's just part of their flow.
Online shopping carts are becoming the new family group chat, where wants are expressed, negotiations happen, and purchases are made with or without parents.
Gen Alpha is not waiting for purchasing power. They already have it. They're already earning income, developing brand loyalty well before high school. And they're already buying things when their parents aren't looking.
In Washington, Michael Yoshida.
Well, last month, the Southeast Texas Violent Crime Task Force, it was created to help curb violence across the city and across Southeast Texas. Now, Beaumont Police Chief Tim Oknashek, he's joining us this morning to discuss the task force, including key operations and recent cases where the Real-Time Crime Center has helped solve crimes. How you doing, Chief?
Well, pretty good, Mark. How are you today?
Doing well. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Big announcement, and you just had a presentation last week, in fact, at the City Council. How is this Violent Crime Task Force going right now?
Well, they hit the ground running right off the bat. They got involved with an aggravated robbery. A vape shop up on Magnolia was hit, and within hours they were able to track down information. It resulted in not only the two suspects being arrested, but recovering a stolen firearm and some narcotics. We're looking at federal charges being filed. So they're taking it very, very seriously. They turned around, got a narcotics search warrant. Were able to uncover yet more guns and a shotgun and some narcotics. Put several individuals behind bars in that raid. There was a saturation effort that was done. One of the benefits of the task force is bringing in manpower, not just from Beaumont PD, but from some of the assistant agencies and the federal agencies. So we were able to saturate a high crime area and really target some problem people that are causing some routine complaints. And they were able to make several arrests, some narcotic violations, yet another gun taken off the street that was being used illegally. The task force is a great partnership, but there's a lot of technological help too, and our professional staff are just knocking it out of the park on being able to connect the dots, look for not just the people that are in the front scene, but those are helping them, those are hiding them, those are the accomplices, and they're being able to track down. They did an ATM theft in the last week. There's our auto theft task force was looking into that, and they were able to track down assisting vehicles and work with Houston. And by the time, before they could even get home, through technology and through partnerships and great investigative work, they were able to not only catch the people that were doing it, but recover all the money that was stolen. Additionally, they tied a bunch of cases throughout Texas. So these are not people that are just doing one or two things. They're causing crime, they're causing problems, and they're getting taken off the street. So we're very thankful.
So you're targeting some local situations from local people, but also sounds like you've got folks who come in from out of town and take advantage of us, and you were able to track them down almost immediately using the real-time crime center there.
Right, and good investigative work and a lot of partnerships.
Why the feds involved? What is having them involved in this with federal charges? Why is that important?
Well, you know, you got to stretch your manpower, you got to stretch your resources, your capabilities, and each of these different agencies, whether it's a local agency, a ISD agency, or a federal agency, they each bring their own resources and competencies. And so, you know, having FBI agents and ATF agents embedded in the department, we're able to get them on a ground level of a case. They're able to focus on some of these people and look at federal charges that are going to take them off the street. These criminals are not always worried about jurisdictional boundaries. They're all over Southeast Texas, and as you know, as I just mentioned, some of them are all through the state and other states doing criminal acts, and we're doing our best to take them off the street.
Chief, tell us just a little bit more about extra patrols and what you're targeting there with that.
Well, we're looking at you know, not just the fact that there's been a significant crime reduction, but ultimately there's a perception of violence, and when you have it happen to you, it's very personal, and it happens too often. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to help with perception. We can't have an officer staged at every house. We can't go behind closed doors and help families work it out. But what we're trying to do is be as visible as possible. We're trying to focus some extra attention on some areas that have routine crowd gatherings, and through extra patrols and extra attention on like cameras that are available at our parks and so forth, take care of that.
All right, Chief, never enough time to talk to you about this work that y'all are doing out there. Keep it up, and we'll check in with you again next month.
Great to see you.
All right, thank you. And when Daybreak returns on 12 News Plus, we're going to have more news and weather in your morning rush hour. Your time is 7:52.
In my group, I took the best photos. We were always trying to look cute online. That's how I met him. His DM asked if I was a model or if I wanted to be. Asked for more pictures and then to meet up. I thought I was in control, but it was always him. Girlhood should be selfies and silly filters, not sex traffickers hitting you up on social.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
No matter where we start, every mile brings us closer. And as Texans, we take care of each other along the way. We lend a hand, slow down, and take our time. At the end of the day, we all want to get home safe. Drive like a Texan. Kind, courteous, and safe.
Step up in the building, yeah, we don't got no ceilings. Get them out their feelings, yeah, I'm taking out the villains. Got them on their feet, jaws dropping. History's revealing and they know they can't stop it. Woo! Watch me take flight. It's a different sight when you take it to this height. They can stop the freedom that I got. Feeling like an eagle, watch me take it to the top. A seam you can't crop, and you know this.
It's 4 words no parent should ever hear.
Your child is sick. But Starlight has taught us 4 other words that make all the difference.
Healing begins with happiness. Learn more at starlight.org.
Texas News Now, one power-packed hour with enough Texas news to fill a 10-gallon hat. Your top headlines, weather alerts, and big travel updates. Weekdays, noon, only on 12 News Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Warm and windy today through Friday. Temperatures in the middle 80s. Saturday, we have the red bar there because we have a weather impact alert with possibly some heavy rains up in the lakes area coming in on Saturday night. Otherwise, we'll just see some scattered showers and storms Saturday night. That cold front will cool us down for Sunday into next week with highs in the 70s and lows back in the 50s.
Reasons to Smile, sponsored by Reisinger and Vols Orthodontic Specialists.
Here's a reason to smile. The Port Arthur Titans celebrating big wins in this year's Law Day competition. Marie Cutno, she took first place and received a $1,000 prize, while Kesey Hidalgo, she earned third place and a $500 prize. Also, both their artwork's going to be displayed for 1 year in the federal courthouse. It's all going to be hanging on the second floor halls. Very cool right there. It's good to see our young students here in Southeast Texas making an impact.
Look at that artwork, man.
I know.
Very precise.
Yes.
Almost like a picture.
I know. I want someone to draw you, Jeff.
A stick figure?
Exactly.
All right. Thanks so much for watching Daybreak here on 12 News Plus.
I'll be back here for midday. Tune in at 11 a.m.
Everyone have a great day.